All right, so I have a specific rule that I almost 99% of the time follow in Dynasty, but there might be a little bit of an asterisk on that following that advice this upcoming year. I will tell you what that is here. But first of all, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please let a like or comment on even a Dynasty question, and I will try to answer it below. I try to answer every single question that is posted on these videos that is related to Dynasty Fantasy content, at least. So, again, we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers here. The golden rule, let's get to it. The golden rule that I usually follow is we cannot not rely too much on landing spot being pushed up on some of these rookie rankings. And what I mean by that is the CEH rule, the Keyshawn Vaughn rule. There's rules on the landing spot cannot make these players jump from one tier to another tier or jump all through above all these other players because it looks like a great spot. We cannot rely too much on landing spot. Why this might be an asterisk this year is because of two situations that have now been upon us. One, Kansas City. They have Travis Kelce, they have Juju Smith-Schuster, but they need a wide receiver. And it is very feasible that they could be drafting a wide receiver. And number two is the Packers. The Packers desperately need a wide receiver. We're talking about two top 5 offenses that the situation is probably not going to change a ton, at least in the 12-month span. Because Aaron Rodgers signed for 4 years, technically 3, and Pat Mahomes still under contract forever. So you have these situations that look so good that this might be the opportunity that you have a player, a Christian Watson, a Jahan Dotson, a Chris Olave, even a Jameson Williams who has that ACL injury. You might get one of these wide receivers that jumps from 4, 5, 6, all the way up into top 2, 3 category. We're talking about wide receivers that might jump 5 spots. When you have Jameson Williams that gets drafted by Green Bay, and let's say Chris Olave drafted by Kansas City, you are going to have to look and you say, hey, this opportunity is just amazing. Do I draft them over maybe a Treylon Burks or a Garrett Wilson? And it is going to be a really, really, really tough decision because you might have a Treylon Burks go to Atlanta. And if Treylon Burks goes to Atlanta with no quarterback, or Marcus Mariota, a rushing quarterback, Marcus Mariota versus you have Jahan Dotson that goes with Pat Mahomes, it's going to be, there's a difference in talent. It's going to be extremely tough not to draft that opportunity over that talent. And this might be one of the very rare situations because that opportunity looks like it's not going to change much. Even if Green Bay or Kansas City drafts, because Juju's on a 1-year contract, if they draft another wide receiver in 2023, easily could happen. They draft somebody in 2022, they draft somebody in 2023. That easily could still make that player that was drafted in 2022 super valuable, and maybe they get a little bit of a downtick. But this is, again, one of the situations that I think you could almost not erase the land, putting a lot on landing spot, but Green Bay, Kansas City, those two spots are going to be spots that are going to jump these wide receivers. Because Green Bay for sure. When I mean for sure, I mean 99% of the time, I think they're going to take wide receiver in the top 2 rounds. Kansas City, I think it's up there in like 70% land. Because they need that replacement for Tyreek Hill. They have the picks to do it. And they love speed. So you can see like a George Pickens go there. You can see a Jameson Williams go there. You can see a lot of different players end up going there. And one of those wide receivers is just going to jump. Or if they both of them, they're going to both jump. Maybe even in a full tier, which I usually say, hey, alarms, don't do it. You see a wide receiver go from 7 to 3 or 9 to 2. It's like, hey, red flags, don't do it. Like, don't put too much on landing spot. And that's mostly usually the running back position because running backs can switch like that and they usually get hurt. We talk about Keyshawn Vaughn. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn, CEH, like those are running backs that had the great opportunity. But again, they had great opportunity, but then all of a sudden Darrell Williams came back. And then all of a sudden Leonard Fournette was signed. And it's like those things change because there's only one running back on the field usually. Or at least majority of the time, there's only one running back. For wide receivers, you can have 2-3 out there, and you can have 2-3 be successful on the same team. I love the Rams, the Vikings. There's plenty of other teams that have had 2-3 quality wide receivers for fantasy-wise, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, like on the same team at the same time. And when you don't have anybody, and you have an amazing quarterback, a top 5 talented quarterback, you could arguably say that they're both top 5, at least talent-wise. And they're going to produce a ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns because that's what Kansas City, that's what Green Bay has done the last 15 years, well, the last 10 years. So that is my golden rule, kind of you're erasing it. You usually, just for those two situations, the Kansas City wide receiver, the Green Bay wide receiver, it's going to be really interesting. I want wide receivers to go there just for the fact that I think it's going to throw some wrenches into Dynasty Fantasy Football, and I love that. I love chaos. I love this offseason's been so much fun. Seeing Tyreek Hill go to Miami, seeing Devontae going to the Raiders, seeing all these quarterbacks switch spots. I love it. I love it because you find great opportunity through there. You find great buys. You find really good sells. Like there's different things that when things move around, you find these great opportunities in Dynasty Fantasy Football. When things are stagnant, not much changes. People have their values. It's like, oh, this guy's wide receiver 20. He's been wide receiver 20 for the last 8 months, ranking-wise. I'm not really changing him. But hey, when you have all these changes, it makes it fun because then people are like, I need to buy, I need to sell. It's like fire sales, fire buys. Things are crazily happening, and I love it. And we'll keep doing videos every single day. All right, this is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads. Peace out. Take care. We'll see you soon.